Hey everybody, it's Rachel with Rachel Q Stitches and welcome to my channel. Today is Tuesday, July 6th, 2021 and this is FlossTube number 24. And so if you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by, and if you're a regular, thank you for joining me today. I did not film last week. Last week my husband decided to take me out in nature. And if you know me, I am a huge fan of nature. I love nature, but I do not like mosquitoes, and mosquitoes love me. So here in Louisiana, we have a ton of mosquitoes, and I get chewed up. So I brought some of my doTERRA Terra Shield. I sprayed myself down, and luckily I did not get bit by mosquitoes. But on our way back to the car from our hike, the heavens opened up and it downpoured and we were soaked. But it was a great hike. I got to see one of the smaller swamps in the area. It was just really beautiful, and the canopy did keep the tree canopy did keep it kind of cool for me. But I'll hike in Tennessee until the cows come home. I love it. And by hike I mean just a you know, it's more of a walk with some hills and rocks and a trail and woods and stuff like that. There's definitely no mountain hiking going on in my life. So that's what we did last Tuesday. Typical summer, you know, we wake up and we're like, let's go hike. It's supposed to be a pretty day. So that's what we did. And so I did not film last Tuesday. All that to say. So since today is July 6th, I started my stitch along. And if you want to join me, I am stitching Erica Michael's ABC blocks because I want to learn some specialty stitches. And so this week I started block A and I made so many mistakes, it's not even funny. I'm using 28 count even weave that I had in my stash, stuff that I inherited from my mom and stuff that, you know, I bought in baggies of different cross stitch fabric from thrift stores and whatnot. So this is the block A, and I don't, hold on, it's not, there we go. There's block A. I started. I did make a mistake here, which of course threw my whole border off, but I did not notice it until I went to match up down here, and I said, oh well, I'm leaving it, which is per usual for me. So there's block A. I got the border done. I got, A stands for acorns and Algerian islets. And so I did do 4 of them, and I'm still learning the hole placement thing, like the holes, where the hole actually begins and ends, you know. So it's like, you know, it shows put the eyelet starting here and here, and it's like, well, are you talking about individual holes? Are you talking about a set of 9? I'm still learning, y'all. It's been years, over 25 years since I've stitched on linen. I would say closer to 30. And so I'm still trying to figure all this out. But I made 4 little Algerian eyelets. One of them is a little baby one right here because of the whole placement thing that I have with my border. But it's been fun. So since it's acorns, I am going with a fall color theme. And I am using floss from thrift stores because I do have that floss, the stored by color versus DMC, which is by number. So since it is by color, I'm just going in there, and I picked up a bunch of browns and golds and kind of a rust color, you know. So that's what I did here. That is my new start. And so now we're gonna, my whips, my works in progress. I am working on the Stitching Book Club Little Women Stitch Along, and part 2 was released right here. So I was able to finish part 1. I was watching Stitching in the Land of Good Enough. That's who I was watching, and she said, oh, part 2's come out, and I was like, it has? I think it was Stitching in the Land of Good. I quote, y'all, I will name people and have no idea what I'm talking about half the time. So anyway, I finished part 1, and then I checked my email, and I did actually get part 2. So anyway, that is part 1, and I am in love with the colors. I am using a 16 count DMC that was in my stash. Most likely it's like an off-white, antique white. Most likely I got it from Hobby Lobby, and I am using the called for DMCs. So that's it right there. So this week I will start on the house. For my ABC style, I am working on, I work on it for about an hour a day. I give myself an hour a day. I did the border like in one day, and then I'm just working an hour or so a day, and I'm going to see how I do. But this, I'm going to start the house today. I'm trying to I'm trying to stay caught up with it, because I do get behind, as you'll see with the flea market flowers and the serendipity, which I didn't even stitch on this week, so you're not going to see that actually. And so flea market flowers, I am nowhere near where we're supposed to be, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. So what I did was, I went ahead, I saw somebody on Instagram did this, and I'm terrible. If you know me, I'll plot out borders and totally mess up and wad up the whole project and never finish it. But I find that because she has this, the border is every other stitch, it's easier for me to count than it is like if it were full lines, completed lines, because they're dotted lines. So I went ahead and I stitched all of these, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the green of the stems and stitch all the stems, then stitch all the leaves, and then I'll work on the flowers. Like I said, somebody on Instagram did this, and I thought it was genius. And so that's what I'm going to do. So this week I'll probably stitch some more stems and just try to stay steady with it, you know, instead of trying to rush and finish what we're supposed to do by, because I think actually we're supposed to be done by now. Yeah, it's supposed to be finished. It's not, but that's Flea Market Flowers. It is by Lori Holt, if you don't know, and it's So Emma through the Fat Quarter Shop. And so there it is. I like it. It's a good stitch. It's the pattern is small, so I do have to make a copy and zoom it, and sometimes I probably should scan it and put it on my iPad so that I can make it bigger when I need it. But the pattern is very small. That's my only complaint, is that the pattern is small. And finishes. I have some finishes this week. This week I am participating in the Carolyn Manning Tree Trimmer Ornament Stitch Along. And I worked on this one right here. This is the first installment. The second one has come out. I just have not printed it yet. I did the first ornament, this one right here. I did it on off-white, and you couldn't see the white, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I might end up stitching it again on blue. I haven't decided yet. So anyway, so this is it right here. And I like these. They're detailed enough to keep me interested, but they're small enough that I finish them quickly. So I'll probably, she has hers made into little pillows. I will probably make these, if I do finish them, into more of a flat folded ornament. Have not decided yet. I might make them into a little quilted ornament. I don't know yet. I haven't decided. But that's this right here. So that was a finish. And I do like them because it does allow me to say, I have a finish. Which, it's always nice to have a finish. I think it's, I can't remember her name, but she did a bunch of smalls, and I'm like, that's what I need to do because I need some finishes. Okay, speaking of finishes, I finished Heartstring Sampleries, the old rugged cross. And I love it. I love the colors. This is a 18 count, I believe. 16. I think it's 16, but I dyed it so it shrunk. And I used the call for DMCs, which I did use for the Carolyn Manning. Also, that's a 14 count. So I've decided, my goal was to try to do one a month, but I've decided that since I really need to finish the Serendipity. I only have like 2 rows left, 2 or 3 rows left. And really, if I just worked on it, it would get done. I want to finish that, and I want to finish the flea market flowers before I move on. And so, so that's what I'm going to do. I am going to finish Serendipity before I allow myself to start another hymn. So, and get those done. Because these are, I really can. And that's finishing it in a month and not even really, you know, spending, I don't like focus just on that until it's done. You know, I pick it up every couple of days. I'll pick up and stitch, you know, focus on it for most of the day. I like to focus on one piece for most of the day, and then I have some little smalls like the little ornaments or something like that that I like to just pick up and stitch while we're watching TV. And I forgot to bring it again. I did not finish America, y'all. I worked on it, but I did not finish it in time for 4th of July, so I'm a little bummed. So I think what I'm gonna do when I finish Flea Market Flowers and when I finish Serendipity, I'm gonna try to add an American small and a Christmas or a seasonal small, just in my rotation. Just, you know, like the Carolyn Manning ornaments, and then you know, America, and then I want to work on some Thanksgiving stuff soon. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, is just keep some smalls and rotations, but I really need to finish Serendipity. I really like it, so I want to finish it. I want to hang it up in the sewing room. So anyway, so today's installment of What Did I Find in Mom's Stash? So Mom and Dad loved to cruise. In fact, in their 51 years of marriage, they went on over 50 cruises. There was actually a time when they would go on 2 a year. They loved them so much. My mom just liked the fact that, you know, she could sit, didn't have to cook, somebody did it for her, she didn't have to make her bed, she didn't have to do any of that, and she loved him. Mom loved him. Dad still loves him, but his I don't think his new wife is real overly fond of them as much as Mom and Dad were. They were addicted to cruises. So one of the cruises they went on was Alaska, and they Mom was into quilting and all that kind of stuff when they went to Alaska, and for our 30th anniversary, my dad sent us on a cruise to Alaska. He said, "You need to go. Y'all, you know, your kids are grown. Y'all need to go do something." So he said, "I want to send you on a cruise." So if I'm going on a cruise, it's Alaska. And so he sent us to Alaska, and it was amazing. You know, people were fully clothed, which I like. Not, I mean, you know, if you want to wear a bathing suit, that's no big deal. I don't like the heat, so Alaska was perfect. You know, wearing a jacket on a cruise was like my style. I was all about that. But anyway, back to Mom stuff. So I was cleaning out some more of my mom stuff, going through some more boxes, and my husband's like, "Hey, I found a box that's kind of weird. It's just got random stuff in it." And so anyway, so I pulled out this that she had bought. It is Ska Stitches by Gail Shoranak, I guess. And it is a cross-stitch pattern, and I'm not going to take it out the package, so sorry about the glare, of Southeast Alaska, which I do believe is where mainly we cruise. And it's got a cruise ship, which I thought was neat. So it's an older pattern, you know, obviously, because it is from 1985. And so it looks like it might be hand-drawn. But anyway, I thought it was kind of cool. And hold on one second, I gotta answer my son. Okay, I'm back. He just had a question. It's my son that lives in Tennessee. And so, anyway, so I had to answer him. So anyway, let me see what else I have to do. Oh, so I went to Joanns, and I went to their DMC Floss sale, which DMC Floss, it's going to be in the title. It's my topic of discussion this week. And I bought some floss. So I needed some floss to go with the Carolyn Manning and the rest of the Sunday Sunday Stitches, and the rest of those. And I'm gonna kit up the freebie by Fox and Rabbit that they put on their YouTube channel, because I really like it. It's, the Lord is my shepherd. So I went and bought DMC Floss. So that is my topic of discussion today. I talked about Aida stitching a while back. And I have to say, there's the one floss tuber, and I mentioned her before, and she is my favorite floss tuber, mainly because she stitches not in a style that I stitch. She's one of my, I'm not going to say my favorite. I don't have an absolute. It's like picking your children. You know what I'm saying? And that is Stitching by the Shore, because she stitches on Aida and she stitches with DMC. And, you know, you've heard me say it before, my husband's a teacher. I am a retired stay-at-home mom. And so, you know, buying expensive fabric and buying fancy floss just is not in the budget. Now, the past couple months, 2 months, I subscribed to the Fat Quarter Shop's Floss Frenzy. And I got the Classic Colorworks and the Weeks Dye Works for 2 months. And I just could not justify, and this is this month's, it's Lollipop Purple. It is the Weeks Dye Works right here. Paying $17 or $20. You know, and that was $20, and I think I had some Aida thrown in. So, you know, $3.75. You know, and honestly, I mean, they're beautiful. Don't get me wrong, they are beautiful. But I just can't. I can't do it. We had the money the past 2 months for me to do it, and so that's why I, you know, told my husband I want to try them. I just want to look at them, but I can't. You know, I can't justify it. You know, I have too much stuff that I want to do that to justify that would just, I just can't. So anyway, so that is my topic of discussion. I know that there are a lot of people that I watch that use, you know, fancy floss, you know, and it's kind of funny because you're watching them and they're like, oh, I used the called for, you know, Weeks Dye Works, I use the call for Fancy Floss, or I use the call for Silks. And then the very next project, they're like, I use the call for DMC. And I appreciate that because, you know, there are people out there, and I've discussed this before, in one of my earlier videos, that want to stitch, but so many times feel like they can't. It's kind of like quilting. You know, there are people that get on these quilt boards and they're, I want to learn how to quilt. And people are like, okay, well, you need to go to the quilt store and you need to buy 100% cotton quilt quality fabric. And these people come out with sticker shock, and they're like, okay, so I'm going to sit here and I'm going to make a quilt, and I'm going to spend $150 on fabric just for the top. That's not the back. That's not the batting, not the thread, not the supplies to make it. And they really, by saying, oh, you know, you have to use this, and it really makes it hard for people wanting to learn how to do things. And I'm like, go to Joanns, go to Walmart, go to a thrift store, buy some 100% cotton men's shirts, and make you a quilt. You know, that don't let anything discourage you. But anyway, luckily most of the floss tubers I watch are not they're not snobs when it comes to these things. You know, like I said, they'll throw out a pattern, they're like, oh, I did this on linen with called for DMC, and then the next thing you know, they have something on 14 count Aida with called for Fancy Floss. And you know, maybe that's why I watch them, because they are like that. But you know, it's, for me, it is, it's cost prohibitive for me to use fancy floss. I just can't. Like I said, I did get it. I've actually found some at my creative reuse store, which got me, this is what got me thinking about, well, let me try it and see what it's like. Is it really worth it, you know? And it's beautiful. Like I said, it is beautiful when you do that. But I can't justify. So here's my question for this week. Do you know of any floss tubers? Like I mentioned, Stitching by the Shore, she uses DMC, except she does use Anchor Black. So do you know of any floss tubers that for the most part use DMC floss or Anchor, or you know, any other economical floss? I'm going to call it economical. You know, do you know of any that I could check out, that I could look at? Y'all helped me out so much with Aida Stitchers, and I found some that I really, really enjoyed, and I forgot to write a couple of them down, and I'm going to try to do that next week. Try to remember to do that next week. But, you know, I know that there's Sullivan's. I've never used Sullivan's. In fact, I can't even get Sullivan's here unless I order it. I do have a LNS here that sells Anchor. She has a whole display of Anchor, and I've heard good things about Anchor Black and White. And so I might actually go grab a couple of skeins from her one day. It's connected to our quilt store, 2 different stores, but they're in the same building, same room essentially. So I might go grab some Anchor Black and White from her because I've heard really, really good things about it. So yeah, do you know any floss tubers who mainly use DMC or, like I said, more economical floss? I do know that there are some full coverage people who use the CXC floss, which is polyester from China. My only concern about that for me is that you really can't iron it because it is polyester. It'll melt. You gotta watch the heat of your iron. So anyway, so for me, it's DMC, especially when Joanns has a big sale, or I hit a estate sale that's selling them, like I did that one time. One day I need to show y'all a picture of that. I don't think I've ever showed a picture of that. But if I think about it, I'll try to tack it on the end of this. My daughter and I were at an estate sale, and we bought a DMC cabinet that was those little, I think 4 drawers that was stuffed full of DMC, and also had a huge gallon-sized bag that was stuffed full of DMC. So I'm good for DMC, but I don't have it organized in a way that I can find it easy. So sometimes it's easier for me to just go to Joann's and, buy this. Anyway, I'm all over the place today. This is what happens when I don't film weekly. I get all over the place, and my husband is outside and he wants to mow the front yard, and I'm in the dining room, which faces the front of the house. So he's outside on the driveway. This sounds so terrible. He is burning important papers that have my mom and my dad's social security number on it. And by important papers, I'm talking about tax documents from 1973. And some of ours from 1980, 1990, 1991. So he's got a little fire pit out there with a lid, a little mesh lid, and he's burning papers. He needs to go back to school. He really does. He's struggling with things to do, and but it's been raining, and so they can't play golf. So he's like doing all these little projects around the house, and sometimes he's like, hey, he cleans the kitchen for me every day. I like that. I like the fact that he cleans the kitchen every day. But anyway, so I'm rambling. I'm going to finish right now. I have an eye appointment. Praise Jesus. I will be getting new contacts. I ran out of contacts at the beginning of June, and I couldn't, per insurance, couldn't go back to the beginning of July. So I have been wearing nothing. I wear glasses to drive so I can see, but I can't wear bifocals. I'm supposed to wear bifocals, but I can't. So I am going to the eye doctor today. So I want to hurry up and finish this so that I can edit and get it uploading while I'm there. And I just want to say I appreciate all of y'all for stopping by again. And again, if you're new here, thank you for joining me. And in the comments below, let me know if you know of some exclusively, or for the most part, DMC Stitchers. I'm always looking for new people to follow, and if you know of anybody who might be interested in this channel, tell them about me. And don't forget, Erica Michaels, hashtag EMABCSAL. That's what I'm doing, my Erica Michaels ABC Sal. That is me. It is a year-long project for me learning how to do specialty stitches. So if you know someone who might be interested, send them to my channel and tell them to subscribe, like, all that good stuff, and they can join in on us. If they're not a YouTuber, if they don't want to get on YouTube, they can join us on Instagram using that hashtag. I'll have it below. And I'll see you guys hopefully next week, unless my husband decides to drag me out into nature again. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.